What is good? What is good? This is Daz the Hero, back and better than ever, and you are tapping in with
Monkey D Michael.
And we are so happy to be back because this is One Piece chapter 1007. And Oda has really been on fire for the past 6 or 7 chapters, but this chapter was a nice little change of pace because we've gotten a lot of action, of course, with being shifted from Sanji and what he's been doing and getting to where the Scabbards were at. And now we're seeing the main floor and seeing the thousands of people who were infected by Queen's ice virus and them being turned into ice demons. And we see what's developing now with Chopper, who has been spending all his time devising the antibodies. And that finally came to a climax here. And we love to see that because it gave us an opportunity to see just how dope of a doctor that Chopper is, a scientist really, because we know that Queen is kind of a mad scientist self. He likes to do a lot of the torture and deal with that with the Kaido pirates. And as we see with Jack as well, they have a lot of those really maniacal memes. So seeing Chopper just cancel all that out and show that, you may have one thing going for you, but for one, I'm not a Tanuki. And when Marco really hems him up, once he sprays the antivirus cannon and gets the upper hand and gains his attention, Marco hems him up and Chopper pimp slaps him. And we love to see that because it's not really a combat feat, but you know that it's a kind of a sign that
it's an insult nonetheless.
As we see that there's kind of a running joke with the second division commanders. They're not really quite as tough as they're supposed to seem. As we see with Smoothie back with Whole Cake Island, she hasn't really shown anything in these 5 years that we've really known about the character. And now Queen, he's shown some impressive durability feats, but he's kind of been shown to be more of a gag character as opposed to somebody that needs to, that's a force to be reckoned with. So
I would say that he's definitely a force to be reckoned with, but I would definitely also say that the way that he treats his underlings specifically is not getting him any wins.
He, as we see later on, early on actually, the pleasurers and the waiters are all pretty much treated like scum. We know the beast pirates, they base everything on merit and strength. So if you don't have any strength, not only do you not have a high ranking, but you have no respect.
Right, you're not going anywhere. You're basically stale in that crew at that point.
And they have no type of position in the crew, so he thinks they're just grunts that can easily be replaced.
I mean, they're the beast pirates, so I get where Queen is coming from, but at the same time, you don't have to put it so bluntly.
Why you see that you would expect there at least to have some type of camaraderie with the crew, especially from the high-ranking members, but if you don't have any power, why do they even have to sweat you? And interesting dynamic I can kind of combat that is the Luffy and Usopp relationship. We know that Usopp is physically pretty much the weakest in the crew, but he is Luffy's best friend, and I highly doubt anybody to Usopp's power level would be somebody that Kaido would view as a best friend or a peer. And it's just it's hard to, you don't get those vibes from the Beast Pirate, and that is probably.
But it's also not the first time we've seen that type of vibe from a pirate crew in general. I mean, Queen said it himself. You think he's really Chopper's out there really helping you? He's out there thinking about this? No, he probably got the shot and out of here.
He was expecting him to have a very selfish and one-sided and a pirate, let me get mine perspective, but he don't know we're rocking with the Straw Hats here, so we got a lot more in the tank. And speaking of that, we get another ship. After we get things wrapped up with Queen and Chopper and Marco, we see that Yamato and Momonosuke and Shinobu, they're hightailing it out of there. And what we see is interesting here is Momonosuke really struggled with his current power level. He's still kind of waiting on his moment. He had a good opportunity and he got to speak to the ODEN prisoners to galvanize them, but he knows if you're gonna be the next, if you're going to embody Kozuki Oden and be that next one in line, you have to have some type of combat.
Well, do you think that because Momonosuke's devil fruit is so similar to Kaido's, do you think Yamato might have some power ideas or maybe some move ideas that he could potentially work with?
This is actually a golden opportunity for him to actually learn a few things, just like Luffy learned a few lessons from Katakuri, just like he learned a few lessons from Hiragoro early in this, not initially in this arc. Kaido is going to be a prime example for not as we've seen the way that Momonosuke's been able to fly previously. It's been with those little orange flames, and how is Wano floating in the island of Onigashima being moved on? Kaido is using those flames. So now that we know that, the biggest, I'll say the biggest moment of this chapter was Kaido revealed, not the world government revealing that Momonosuke Momonosuke's devil fruit was actually like a synthesized version, like an artificial version of his devil. This just opens the floodgates for the potential for Momonosuke.
I need a hybrid form.
Yes, okay, he's too young for that at the moment, I feel like, because he's just kind of...
We'll see. I think that because he's slipping into this dragon form initially, like, out of anxiety and worry and self-doubt, I think maybe if he finds the courage, maybe he might be able to exert it at that point.
Yep, I think this will be an opportunity for him. He's kind of waking up. It was kind of a wake-up call to him, because Shinobu said that you're like it wasn't the official translation, but she said, you're a fine young man, Momonosuke. Have some sense of pride. Maybe that is something that can really, like, spark your potential. Like, you are Gohan, bro. Just let it come to you. Like, you don't have to force it, but just let it flow to you, and just be ready to take the next step when the opportunity presents itself. Like, don't be bent on like overthinking it when you're literally in the situation right now. You're really battling with Kaido's daughter/son, and this is an opportunity to make your mark. Like, y'all are creating your chapters right now. It's not about Kaido and Oda.
It's your story.
This is Momonosuke and Yamato. Like, embrace the fact that you're literally walking the path that you like think is supposed to be something like that. That's something that I'm really looking forward to seeing expanded on down the line. But man, just more to come, more greatness from One Piece, more greatness from Oda and all of the Straw Hats. Is there anything you wanna leave out before we exit?
I actually am considering the whole theory about is this Odin or not at the end of the chapter.
That was what was saying before. Thank you for
it definitely, like, because the silhouette we got beforehand was definitely feminine. At least in my opinion. And now that we have this strong man, Odin, you know, we look alike.
Who's present to shapeshift though? Like, who could that actually be besides him?
I mean, maybe we have a chance that Bon Clay is showing up, and he just happened to get on a cruise ship with someone who works for Luffy, under Luffy. But it would really hurt me personally to know that Odin was alive this whole time. It would just take away from the backstory and all of the struggles that everybody's gone through if he was just kind of sitting idly by waiting for this date.
Yeah, so much would kind of be there. Everything would kind of be unimpactful after that. The sacrifice that he made for them would really end up being, I wouldn't say for nothing, but the end result, like, the ends didn't justify the means.
Exactly.
But I am looking forward to see how that expands. We'll get a lot of extra information as the official translations come out later this week. But until next time, be on the lookout for more Streamcast content. Be on the lookout for more individual content from all of the extension of it, because we're really going to be expanding with all the different things that we bring to this channel and this platform. Until next time, you know Lotus always booms.